Alrighty. Ayush, how old are you and who are you?
I'm 28, and who am I? I'm just like any regular immigrant guy who came to this country with a lot of dreams and hopes and finally settled in as a professional. I work as a sourcing operations manager, and I've been working in IT field for almost 4 years now as a data analyst, business intelligence analyst, and yeah, pretty much in my free time, I like to keep very healthy lifestyle, very active lifestyle. Love to travel, uh, try different cuisines. Yeah, pretty much that's it.
Okay, and when did you come to Australia?
I came to Australia in 2017 to pursue my masters. Yeah,
Okay, and what masters did you do?
I did my masters in information systems from the University of Melbourne.
So when you came to Australia, the plan was to stick around or plan was to go back?
No, plan was always to stick around after my education and see how next couple of years go. And if I like the place, then definitely I would like to settle here. But yeah, as soon as I came here, within a couple of months, I fell in love with the place, and yeah, decided to stay here. And I'm here, at least for now. Yeah.
Okay, and just to put a context, where do you live?
I live in the city. I live in the South Bank. I've always lived in South Bank since I moved to Australia in 2017. I was in Sydney for a while, but apart from that, yeah, South Bank has been home.
So Ayush, when I was 28, my focus was on lifestyle, partying, traveling,
Yeah.
and that is what my focus was. And you have started up in a new country in 2017. We are in 2024, about 7 years.
Yeah.
So when did this investment or investing in yourself or wealth creation did come in your mind?
It's always been in my mind since even before I moved here. That's always been like the property investment. I've learned it from my parents. My dad invests quite actively in real estate back in India. So I've learned from him that it's a really good source of creating wealth. Uh, and then once I moved here, that was always a goal, but I didn't have like I wasn't settled here. I was studying, then running after my permanent residency, citizenship. So in 2022, 2023, all those things started settling in.
Mhm.
And that's when I started focusing on, okay, now let's look at property investing, and yeah, started exploring real estate options, reaching out to different people, talking to my friends and peers to get more knowledge.
So all the options of investing like shares and stocks and cryptos and properties,
Yep.
are you just focusing on properties or do you have any other investment strategies as well? Are you investing anywhere else?
I do invest on like recurring basis on like mutual funds, a little bit into shares, not crypto for sure. I'm not a big fan, although a lot of my friends are, but I think it's too risky. So I always tend to invest in those places where I can tolerate the risk.
Mhm.
I think property is one of those places where there's very less chances of losing your money. You might get like less gains, but
Mhm.
also there's it's less risky as compared to like shares or crypto or anything else out in the market.
Okay, all right. So you mentioned that you're coming in from India.
Yep.
How is your father buying properties back in India? Are they using any buyers agents? What is their source of information back there?
I mean, in India, it's not that systemized like here in Australia, obviously. Over there, it's more like you have like local brokers. Your friend might, like, we had a relative living in another city.
Yeah.
They had a broker who helped them purchase a apartment. So my
Mhm.
father got a contact from him and then spoke to him. He provided us with a couple of options. Then he went over there, inspected those property and liked and bought it. So there's no like clear or a structured way where you can analyze data and see what's been the past trend. And in India, there's a lot of like gray market as well in property.
Yeah.
So not very black and white over there as compared to here. So yeah, just by meeting local brokers, reaching out, seeing advertisements, if there's any, yeah.
All right, Ayush, now you live in Melbourne CBD, right in the heart, South Bank. There are so many apartments as you walk onto the street. Because when I came in the country first, I used to live in South Bank as well. And as you walk past, there are so many real estate agencies, offices, and they've got posters outside there that you can buy an apartment for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. Why you did not consider buying those apartments?
See, the apartment in Australia is apartment market in Australia is completely different as compared to India. Australian people love land and they want to hold on to it. So here the apartments don't go up that much. The valuation, even after like 5 years, you just make not even like 5% capital growth. And then you have other expenses. You have to pay for maintenance. You have to pay for body corp. You are restricted. You don't basically own the land. You just own a piece of it.
Okay. So did you explore any apartments as options, like any open homes, or you would have done your research? Because you were sounding quite confident right now that the prices are not increasing. So
yeah. No, I have done my research. Even when I was student, when I came here, started living in my first apartment. I was very intrigued. Started looking into the pricing. How does the market work? Even the apartment I was living at that point on City Road, I think we got the apartment rented out in 2017, and I looked up how much that apartment was sold in 2015, let's say. And then I checked again that apartment in 2022. The apartment got sold again. I moved from that apartment after 3 years in 2020, and that's when the owner sold it, just somewhere between COVID. And the apartment had, I think, 3% or 4% capital growth. I think that's good when you're talking about apartment. I know people who have lost money over the span of 5 years buying apartments in South Bank and Docklands. So actually the apartments go down. Yeah. It's a good cash flow. It gives good cash flow. If you're just after cash flow and you're not after capital growth, then yeah, apartment, go for it. But if you're after a balance of capital growth and cash flow, definitely apartments are not the option for you.
Good that you did your research. Now, my next question is, did you give it a crack yourself, like for buying property? So you understood that apartments are not for you, and you were definitely doing a research. Did you give it a crack yourself? Like when you're wanting to buy investment properties, there are so many forums, so much of knowledge, so many threads out there.
Yeah.
So many places as well.
To be honest, when I was researching, I did a lot of research by myself. But when I finally made up my decision, okay, I'm gonna enter the market, I had no doubts that I want to go with a professional, because you can gather whatever knowledge you want, you can research as much as you want, but someone who does that for a job and they love helping people, like someone like you want to take that help. You want to spend that extra money and get a real value out of it. I was just talking to my friend yesterday who's planning to get into the market, and you're asking me the same question. Should I go with a buyer's agent, or should I get a course, because there's a course for half the price and that teaches me everything? I said, yes, you can do a course, but you can learn everything. But how are you going to get contacts? How are you going to do the end-to-end process? You're going to be stuck at 10 different places. You're going to spend more time, and still there's no guarantee that you're going to make a right decision.
Yeah, right. Fair enough. Now, there are so many buyers agencies out there, Google ads, and then you've got Facebook groups and all of that. So how difficult was it for you to find buyers agencies, and what was your credit? So what was your criteria, how were you getting to look at the buyers agencies? So you were doing a Google search, you were looking at some groups.
Yep. So I did everything. Started with like Facebook forum, Facebook groups, different property groups around Melbourne, added over there. Some like interstate as well. Did Google searches, got name of couple of different buyers agents, and started interviewing them, reaching out to them, selling. Sorry.
No, that's all right. It will remain as raw as it can.
Sorry, I dropped my iPad. Give me a minute. Let me set it up.
If you're looking at this video, bear with us. Ayush is just settling up his phone or camera again. Now, this video, what we are doing is absolutely raw. That is what we are doing. So we are not going to do any edits or anything as such. So you are actually getting the right content from the right sources.
Sorry for that. So yeah, I was saying I reached out to a couple of different buyers agents, started setting up initial calls. My criteria was pretty straightforward. I wanted someone who can hold my hand from start to end, answer all my questions, available for me whenever reasonable times and I need any answers, and have a personal touch. Because like when I interviewed a couple of different companies, they're good, but then they have, oh, we'll assign you an account manager, they will handle your account, we have this fancy app, you can see your property journey, you can see your property growth, what step we're at. But that's all good, looks fancy, but what's the service you're giving me? What is the service? If I want to contact someone, let's say, I know there have been times where I have messaged you 10 p.m. at night or 11 as well, and you have answered my question. Was it going to be the case if I would have gone with someone who has assigned me an account manager? Maybe, but I don't think that's likely to happen. So, yeah.
Sure. So now anyone who is looking at this video is actually wanting to understand from you in the best raw manner as you can, how to pick a buyer's agency. What is your guidance for anyone who would be looking at this video, like how to choose a buyer's agency? Because I remember when you booked a discovery call with us, it was not just one meeting. We had a follow-up meeting, and then we had a follow-up meeting as well. So we have gone through rounds. So what is your advice to anyone?
Just connect with that person, talk to them, be open what you're looking for, and see how they react, and just sense what's their knowledge is, what are they offering. Basically, are they offering, yes, they have experience, they have been in industry for a really long time, but do you feel confident with them? Like when I spoke to you for the first time, I felt before talking to you, I've already spoken to, I think, 5 or 6 different property agents and buyers agents. Then I spoke to you and I instantly felt more comfortable as compared to my initial calls. So I was like, okay, I can explore this person more, talk to them more. And that's why I set up another call, ask up more questions, then third call, ask more questions. And by I think even after that second call, I was pretty confident that Realta is the company I want to go with, because they offer like a tailored service, more personal touch, more experience, more, one-to-one conversations available whenever I need help. And all of my assumptions which I made about the company came true.
Sure. So thanks for that, Ayush. Now you mentioned end-to-end. Now, how your journey with Realta about buying your property looks like end to end. What does that mean, and what is that all cover? What did you experience in a nutshell? If you can share your experience, please.
Yeah, from end to end, I mean, like starting from setting up, I think after you got me on board, the first we had a strategy call. So, where basically you try to figure out what my mindset is and ask me questions so even I can understand what I want to achieve. Because when you start investing, you might be like, oh, I just want to get into the property market, but you don't know what your end goal is. Let's say after 5 years, where you want to be, or after 10 years, where you want to be. So that's where your probing questions came into play. Okay, what type of property you want to buy? What's your plan after 5 years? Where do you see yourself? Do you want to buy just one property or two or three? Do you want to build a portfolio? Are you going to continue be employed, or you want to have your own business, your own house? All these questions, when I'm sitting by myself, I might not ask myself all these questions. I might ask a couple of questions. Oh, what I want to do, I want to buy 4 properties, but how I'm going to achieve that buying 4 properties? So that strategy call initially gave very good outlook, like what my mindset is, and you understood where I want to be. Then I think after that we had a call. You linked me up with an financial advisor, an accountant, which helped me understand, okay, how to structure and how to plan like finances, or like should it be a trust, should it be a company under company, or should it be under our name. So all those things really help you explore and pick on your own mind and ask for answers by yourself. Then after that, we started looking at, like, we had another call with Gurminder where he helped us narrowing down locations. Okay, and he presented us not with just one option, or we realtor thinks this is the best option for you. He gave us like 2 3 options. Okay, we think this is one option based on the strategy or goals which you have mentioned. This is option 2, this is option 3. We think this is the pros and cons for option A, B, and C. So then I ask questions again, like, what do you think? What do you feel? What are my chances? What is going to be the outcome in each scenario? Just getting that personalized information, and all the conversations were so friendly and so frank that even if there was like, I remember Gurvinder telling me, yes, you can go with this option, but this is the downsides. You need to be aware of that you might be sitting on property for, like, say 3 4 years, and then it will pick up. So just making me aware that you are making this decision consciously and not hiding anything.
Yep.
That was being transparent. That was really nice. Then once we narrowed down on the location, then we started exploring the suburbs and the deals in those areas. Then you guys started sending like reports for the deals, where you have everything starting from the house layout, house size, construction type, the suburb profile, the flood report, bushfire, and the approximate rental appraisals, the comparable sales, current or past rented out houses in the same area within, like, whatever, 5 10 kilometers. And the cash flow statement, you shared the cash flow statement. I even asked you to alter the cash flow statement per our need, and you did that. You guys started providing me 2 different cash flow statements with each deal. That was, anyone can say, oh, this is our standard, we can't put in extra work to make 2 statements for you, but you guys did that. And yeah, once then we decided on the property, our offer got accepted, and after that we got a convincer into the play. We had a broker, so all 3 were talking together. We had like a WhatsApp group where everyone is included. So if I asked a question, you were answering that question. Gurminder was answering that question. The broker was asking questions directly to you guys, like, oh guys, what's happening with the finance? What's happening with different stages, unconditional. Then you guys also arranged the property manager for me, who did the walkthrough inspection, then building and pest inspection. So all the people you guys introduced us were as good as you guys. So they were reliable.
Plus, if you can recall, there was a leakage in the bathroom as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I will get on to that. So that's what I'm saying. It's not just you guys. So that's what exactly I was mentioning my friend a couple of days back. It's not about just the buyer agent. It's about other people or other involved stakeholders you get introduced to. You need to feel I can go and find a building and pest inspector in Queensland if I'm buying a property there or in Perth. But do I feel confident on someone? I don't know anyone in Queensland or in Perth. How do I know that person I'm assigning is going to do the right job? That's why I have you uh, into play, because you introduced me to all these people and they were as good as you guys. They were quick respondents, they were pretty reliable, confident, and then they picked up, like you said now, the leak in the bathroom.
Yeah.
We picked up on that, and eventually we worked through with the seller and got like whatever adjustment
I
done.
think there was a price drop of about $10,000, was it?
Yeah, around 9.6, 10,000 for the for the leak in the bathroom. Yep,
So bathroom is now fixed.
uh, is getting done right now. Yeah.
Okay, all right, perfect. And like you just remember start till the end, everything. And what happened with your property then? Is it now tenanted? Okay.
Yeah, it got tenanted, like you guys told me. The I think the vacancy rate is 0.18% in the
Right,
area
right.
where we work.
Almost zero it was.
Yeah, so it took us like pretty much two weeks to get the tenants in the property. Yeah.
Because in your report, I'll just share up here. Give me 1 second. In your report, we shared with you that the rental comparables would be 680 to 700. And what's the actual rent now?
That's the conservative number. We got the rental appraisal for 700 to 740, and property got rented for 710.
710. Okay, all right. So this is like the underdog numbers what we do. So that you're not complaining afterwards. Say Rocky, you guys said 720 or 710.
No.
So we always do that. All right, perfect. So now Ayush, now you from the sound of things, now you remember exactly all of the journey. Are you ready to do your next one yourself? Because now you have seen the process.
Uh, I would say I would still go with a professional, and by professional I mean you. Whenever I'm ready to go for the second property, yes, I have all the knowledge. I have learned so much from you, and even after the property, I bought the property. I remember we were having a conversation over the phone about something, and you were telling me things I might supposed to do after 1 year for tax. So you were still giving me all that knowledge. So that's what I meant. Like even after sales service, and I've said this to a lot of my friends, I have never seen such a customer service, especially from someone coming out from our community. And it's I'm trying to downplay or demean or anything on our community, Indians or anything. But it's what's true. It's true. Generally, we guys don't provide such high quality customer service, which you have provided. And I've said this same statement to at least 5 to 6 people up till now in my friend group, at my work, and yeah. So
That's good.
yeah, I have got all the knowledge, but I will still go with a professional at least for next one or two properties, and then see where I am.
All right. So now, because when you hire a buyer's agency, you pay them the money as well. Do you believe that in the whole transaction you have saved
Yep.
money because you, of course, pay the money for this?
If I have not saved the money, I would get that money like in the terms of capital growth. So even if I would go and buy the property by myself, and that gives me, I can be lucky, that can give me 20%, but on average, that's not the case. That property might give me, like, let's say 5% capital growth. I'll give you an example. Someone buying a property by themselves, They think they want to get into the property market, but they don't want to go with a buyer's agent. They want to save that money. So what's the best bet? They're going to buy locally, obviously. So if they buy right now in Victoria, what's the average capital growth? 2%, 3%, top 5%.
Yeah.
6,000 house will give them at the end of the year 30 grand capital growth. But if they go through a buyer's agent, they pay whatever money, let's say 15 grand, 16 grand. Capital growth is minimum, let's say 10%. They have made 60 grand.
Yeah.
30 plus 15, they are up by 15 anyway, even after paying the buyer's agent. So it's a simple math. Any normal person would do the calculation and figure out getting a buyer's agent is definitely worth it. And plus, it saves you all the hassle. You don't have to go and I'm just talking about monetary. What about the mental and psychological hassle? Oh, where's my building in Pest? Oh, I have to go and find a
Just,
building.
just I get reminded for this while we were doing the deal. You were traveling.
Yeah.
You were like traveling WhatsApp. Times were different.
Yeah. The day I think our offer got accepted, a day after the 2 days after that, I flew to Japan, and I was in Japan the whole time. The building in Pest, the unconditioned everything
Yeah.
while I was away. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you were available 24/7 whenever I had any questions, and you were calling me, updating me over WhatsApp. This is what's happening. We are at this stage. This has happened. We have spoken to the seller's agent and XYZ. So there was a constant communication. I never felt like, oh, I'm away. Oh, I'm buying whatever like 600, $500,000 property, but I'm traveling. Oh, I'm making such because I knew there's someone sitting there. I can rely on them. So that's what I'm saying. You don't have to pause your life for that 1 to 2 months to focus on I'm gonna get a property, because I think I signed up with you guys somewhere in mid-July, and
Yeah.
I think the settlement was done in starting October. So that's like what, let's say 3 months, 2.5, 3 months.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pause your life for that 2.5. But if this was just on my own,
Yeah.
I would be stressed. I had to do constant communication, go up. Yes, I have to check with you, but then I know I can just tell you, okay, this is happening. Can you tell me what's happening? And you would call me and give me 1, 2, 3, 4, all the pointers, and yeah, that was it.
Perfect. Now, Ayush, we're just towards the end of this. Now, you are 28, right?
Yep, brilliant.
What is your advice to anyone who is looking at this video? Because a lot of property investors are in the range of 25 years to 45 years. Some start early, like yourself, some start late.
Yep.
What is your advice to anyone who is thinking about getting into property investment? General advice.
I would say start as soon as you can, and don't think that your first home has to be your owner occupied. Don't go for that. Go for an investment property, leverage as much as you can, wait for a couple of years, get more properties under your belt, and when you are in your, let's say, when you're like, if you want to build a portfolio and you have like 5 properties, then start thinking about getting your own house. And yeah, and always seek help from a professional, at least starting to start with. Talk to people, be open about finances, start making plans. Like if you want to buy a property, you think you'll be ready, but maybe you'll not be. If you want to buy in 2 years, you need to start planning today. You need to start exploring the market today, and that's where you also need to speak to a professional, because you might already be in a position where you can go and buy the property. You might think, oh, I might need this much funds to start investing, but actually, yeah.
All right, perfect. So thank you for your time, Ayush. I think we are just going to keep it as raw as we have recorded now. We are not going to make any changes. Let's see what happens. And thank you for your time.
Even the
Yeah.
embarrassing part, my camera fell off.
Sorry, say that again.
I said, "Are you going to keep even the embarrassing part where my iPad and my laptop fell off?"
Oh, that's yes. Let's keep it as well. Just give me one second. I'll just pause and then we'll just continue.